Thank you, ma'am. Short story by Langston Hughes. Who was Mr. Langston Hughes? A great poet, social activist, and a great writer of America. The story that we are going to read today is about a lady who is called Mrs. Louella Bates Washington Jones and a 14 or 15-year-old boy whose name is Roger, and he's a thief. It is a strange story, one that you read within an hour, but one that remains with you for quite many years. It's a very relevant story at any time. This story begins in the middle of a night. It is almost 11 o'clock and this fat lady is coming home. Mrs. Jones is returning from work. She works in a beauty parlor that keeps open late night, and she's returning with a very big bag slung on her shoulder, the kind of purse that we use. Now, in this story, you will find some colloquial words. What are colloquial words? Colloquial words are, the kind of words that we use in our speech or dialect. গ্রাম্য ভাষা আমরা যেমন বলি, কোনো শহরের বিশেষ বিশেষ জায়গার বিশেষ বিশেষ টান, the kind of accents and the words that are used. In this story, the lady that is present, she is an African American, so her tongue is very sweet, and her arrangement of words and the way she uses them, you can feel, her volume, her health, everything in the words. So let's read this story. She was a large woman with a large purse, and that had everything in it but hammer and nails. It had a long strap, and she carried it slung across her shoulder. It was about 11 o'clock at night. What happened when she was returning home with her big purse? This young boy, very thin, frail boy, he comes running. Kaun hai wo ek chor hai. He comes running and he tries to snatch her purse. But what happens? The purse is so heavy that he is unable to take it and run away, just as he had thought. Instead, he falls down with the purse. It is such a huge purse, and the writer says, if you look for, things, maybe apart from hammer and nails, there is everything in that purse. ভারী ছিল পার্স, ছেলেটা নিয়ে পালাতে পারলো না, পড়ে গেল কোথায়? ফুটপাতে. He falls down in the pavement, and this lady, when she realizes that, the strap, the purse had a strap, the strap had broken, the boy with the weight of the purse had fallen on the pavement. This lady, when she realizes that some boy is trying to steal her purse, she looks, and there is the boy lying on the pavement wearing a blue jeans, and she starts to kick him in his butt. His jeans, he's wearing a jeans, and it is said that she started kicking in his blue jeans sitter. Sitter is what the, part of the bum where the blue jeans is. She starts to kick him, and then she picks him up and she shakes him. She's so fat, This lady is so fat, and the boy is so young and frail thing and short, and she's shaking him, and his teeth is all rattling. And she's asking him, stealing my purse? And the boy says, no, ma'am. And then she says, how dare you steal my purse? And the boy keeps saying, she says, aren't you ashamed of yourself? You're not ashamed? লজ্জা করে না তুমি চুরি করছো? And he says, yeah, yes, ma'am. And then she says, why did you want to do it for? Why did you want to steal my purse? And he says, I didn't aim to. Okay, I didn't try to. I was doing something else. Now, what a funny thing. You try to snatch a purse, the strap breaks and you fall with the purse, and you try to say that, no, I was not trying to steal your purse. So it was a very funny situation. And she says, you a lie. So you see, I told you, it is the African American way, the dialect that they speak, In usual English, grammatically correct, we will say, are you lying? But no, she says, you a lie? Miss, you a lying? And the boy says, no, ma'am. And then she asks, if I let you go, if I turn you loose, if I leave you, अगर मैं तुम्हें छोड़ देता हूँ, तुम भाग जाओगे? और वो बोलता है हाँ, yes. And he says the truth that yeah, I will run away if you let me loose. Then I won't turn you loose, the lady says. And then the boy says, I'm very sorry, lady, I'm very sorry. And your face is dirty. I got a great mind to wash your face for you. And this fat lady has a very interesting character, and she has a very interesting mind also. She says, your face is dirty, boy. I'm thinking of washing your face. Chalo, face ko wash karte hain. Your face needs to be cleaned up. Now the boy, he's so scared. He thinks, what does she mean? Maybe she's taking me to the police station. Maybe she will get me arrested and the people will beat me there. ওরা আমাকে ওখানে দোলাই দেবে আর ও বলছে আমার মুখ ধুয়ে দেবে না এই মহিলাকে ট্রাস্ট করা যায় না. We should just not trust this lady, She's not okay. She's so fat and she's so strong. She's taking me. And the lady's dragging him, okay? She's dragging him on the road and there are people looking at them, bystanders. রাতে লোক জমে গেছে আর তারা দেখছে, আরে what is happening? This lady is dragging this thief. Ain't you got nobody home to tell you to wash your face? She asks. Boy, don't you have anybody at home? You have such a, ugly face, dirty face. Nobody tells you at home to keep clean, to wash your face? And he says, no. No means no, ma'am. Then it will get washed this evening, said this large woman. And she was dragging him behind her, and he was 14 or 15 and he was so thin. It is written he is frail and willow wild. What is frail? Frail means very thin. And willow wild means he was looking all dried. His hairs were sticking up, no oil, no shampoo. It was looking like, very, very dry cotton. And he was looking all dry and dirty. So he was looking wild. And he was wearing tennis shoes and blue jeans. The woman said, you ought to be my son. I will teach you right from wrong. Least I can do right now is to wash your face. Are you hungry? Strangely, all that the boy was scared of was going to the police station, because he was thinking that this is the only thing that people do. अगर आप किसी की चीज चोरी करने जाओ और पकड़े जाओ तो आप जेल ले जाओगे. And they are so scared. The thieves are so scared of going to the jail. But this lady says, I'm going to clean your face. And are you hungry? Do you want to have food? And he feels strange. I mean, who is this really mad lady who's asking me all this? No, ma'am, said the being dragged boy. I just want you to turn me loose. No. I'm not hungry. I'm not hungry. I don't want food. I don't want anything. Just let me loose. আমাকে যেতে দিন, আমি খেতে চাই না, আমি কিচ্ছু চাই না. I don't want anything. Because all that he was scared of was going to jail, of course. Because he was damn sure he was going there. Was I bothering you when I turned that corner? She asked. When I was turning that corner, did I talk to you? Did I come in your way? Boy said, no, ma'am. But you put yourself in contact with me, said the woman. If you think that contact is going to last a while, you got another thought coming. And, another example of that colloquial tongue, an Afro-American tongue, the way she says, I did not come in your way. You came in my way. And you came in contact with me. Contact was what? Trying to steal her purse. Now she's saying, you put yourself in contact with me. Now, if you think that our contact is going to last a little while, you are wrong. You'll soon see. Sweat popped out on the boy's face and he began to struggle. Mrs. Jones stopped, jerked him round in front of her, put a half Nelson about his neck and continued to drag him up the street. Now the boy was fighting, he was struggling. Okay, उसे लग रहा था कि ये क्यों threatening दे रही है lady मुझे कि ये contact ज़्यादा देर तक रुकने वाला है. ये contact, what does she mean? She's taking me to jail. He was trying and pulling. What did she do? She took his head and she put a half Nelson. Half Nelson क्या होता है? When you put somebody's head like this and around the neck you put your arm like that, it is called a half Nelson. Wrestling का term है. Half Nelson lock. And she puts a half Nelson lock. Imagine the scene. He is so young, very thin, and the lady is so fat and dark, and she's holding him like this, and she's dragging him home. And she takes him to her apartment. Where is the apartment? In a building, in the, ground floor. There was her room at the end of a corridor. She takes the boy along the stairs, takes him through the corridor to the last room, but there were other rooms and the boy could hear other voices, so at least he knows that this lady is not going to kill me. অনেক অন্য লোকের গলা পাচ্ছি, বাবা মারধর করলে চেঁচাতে পারবো. There will be people who will be saving me if I get trapped and she tries to beat me up. So he's feeling at the same time a little bit relaxed. This is not prison, this is not police station, this is her house, but he's not feeling sure. Now when she enters the apartment, she lets go of his body. She just lets him free. He looks at the door, he looks at the lady, and he looks at the door, and he looks at the lady. And he's trying to decide whether to run or to stay. But then he decides, okay, maybe I can stay. Roger, the lady asked him what your name is, and he says that his name is Roger. Then, Roger, you go to that sink and wash your face, said the woman. Now, she said, go and wash your face, and then she lets him free. Now, Roger looks at the door. He doesn't get out of the door, but he goes to the sink to wash his face. Now, we shall see a change, a very, very beautiful change in the character of the lady. The lady now says, let the water run until it gets warm, she said. Here is a clean towel. She says, don't just wash your face in that water. That water is really cold. Okay? জলটা ঠান্ডা আছে, আগে গরম জল আসুক তারপর মুখ দেবে. So wait until the water becomes a little hot so that you can wash your face. Just wait. So here we see that Mrs. Roger is not, Mrs. Louella Beats Washington Jones is not really a cruel lady. She's a very kind lady. You gonna take me to jail? The boy is still asking, very scared. Are you going to take me to jail? And then she says, not with that face, I won't take you nowhere. No, with that face, so dirty face. ऐसा फेस लेकर तो तुझे मैं जेल भी ना ले जाऊं. जाओ, धो डालो अपना फेस पहले. And she's so motherly suddenly, and he's just so, he's feeling awkward, but at the same time he's feeling something strange and positive. And she's saying, here I'm trying to get home to cook me a bite to eat, and you snatch my pocketbook? Maybe. You ain't been to your supper either, late as it be, have you? And she says, I was alone returning home tired, thinking that when I'll come home and I'll cook myself some dinner and I'll go to bed, and there you come suddenly to steal my purse? How can you do that? And then she asks, hey, have you had your dinner? I don't think you've had your dinner. And then the boy says, there's nobody home at my house. The boy says, मेरे घर पे कोई नहीं है. I don't have anybody. I don't have any house. I don't have anybody in my house. Then we'll eat, said the woman. I believe you're hungry or been hungry to try to snatch my pocketbook. I wanted a pair of blue suede shoes. Now when she says, then you must be hungry. খাবার জন্যই চুরি করেছিলে তুমি না, তাই চুরি করার চেষ্টা করছিলে. And the boy says, no, জুতো কিনবো বলে চুরি করছিলাম. Blue suede shoes. I wanted a pair of blue suede shoes. I didn't steal your money for, I tried to steal your money. I didn't do it for food. I wanted blue suede shoes. Now, in the 20th century, there was a song, by Elvis Presley called Don't Step on My Blue Suede Shoes. So blue suede shoes were very famous in those times. In all the films, actors and actresses were wearing those shoes. Rockers were wearing them, singers and actors. So they were very famous, and everybody wanted a blue pair of suede shoes. This boy also had this, that wish. Suede is a kind of, it's a kind of leather. Suede is a kind of leather. Even now you get suede jackets and all that. So he wanted blue suede shoes, and that is exactly why he had tried to steal the purse. But, the lady said, well, you didn't have to snatch my pocketbook to get some sweat shoes. You could have asked of me. Louella Beats, Washington Jones. This lady just stunned the boy. She said, why did you steal? You could have just asked me. I would have given you the money. I would have given you the money. You could have bought your shoes. For that, you need not have tried to steal. And the boy is stunned, to say the least. He's stunned and he looks at her, and they have a silent moment. What is this lady saying? I'm a thief, and she's saying she would have given me the money just like that. And he's looking at her. And then he wiped his face. একবার মুছছে, দুবার মুছছে, কি করবে বুঝতে পারছে না. There is this awkward silence and he doesn't know what to do. So he keeps on wiping his face and drying it time and again. And all that he could say when she said that I could have given you this money, and he said, man, means what? What do you mean? The subtext is, what do you mean? You would have given me that, you would have given me that money. What do you mean? Because nobody just gives money just like that to somebody unknown, a thief. Nobody gives money just like that. What do you mean? He was very stunned. And there was a pause, and the woman said, I were young once, and I wanted things I could not get. She said, I was young once, and there were a lot of things I could not get. Roger was feeling like he could run. The door was open and he was standing there. He felt like, I can just run away. I don't need to be with this woman. But he did not run. Something inside told him, wait, Roger, you just wait here. This might be the moment that you need. This might be the place that you need to be. An experience, perhaps. An evening you will remember. So he stays there, and it's good that he does, because when this woman starts to say, I have done things when I was young. I've done things. I was of your age. When she says I was of your age, Roger makes a face, a stiff face. उसे लगता है कि अभी बोलेगी कि मैं तुम्हारी उम्र का था, मुझे भी बहुत कुछ चाहिए था, लेकिन मैंने चोरी नहीं की. But she does not, and she stops, and then she looks at Roger and she says, you thought that I was going to say but. I was of your age, but no. And in her words, let us see what she says. You thought I was going to say, but I didn't snatch people's pocketbooks. Well, I wasn't going to say that. She pauses and she says, I have done things too which I would not tell you, son, neither tell God, if you didn't already know. So you sit down while I fix us something to eat. You might run that comb through your hair so you will look presentable. She says, when I was of your age, I have done such things, means such bad things, that I cannot tell you. They are such bad things. I wouldn't even tell to God. I can't tell that to God, But God, big God, already knows what I have done. Anyways, you get ready. Go comb your hair. You will look presentable. Once she's talking like a friend confessing to a friend, or, like a father one does to a, to a father, the way one confesses to a father in a church. She's telling that I have done things I can't tell you. And then the next moment she's like a mother again. The mother who was telling Roger, don't wash your face in that cold water. Let the water be warm. And then she told him, there is a white towel. There is a fresh towel. Use that. She's so kind. And she's saying, now comb your hair. You will look presentable. In another corner of the room behind a screen was a gas plate and an ice box. Gas plate is where you cook food, and ice box is what? In those times, there were no refrigerators. So people of Western world, what they used to do is that they had a box full of ice, and all the sausages and meat and ham or whatever they had, they used to put it inside that box covered with ice so that the things didn't get rotten or stale. So she took out some things from there. Mrs. Jones got up and went behind the screen. The woman did not watch the boy to see if he was going to run now, nor did she watch her purse, which lay left behind her on the daybed. She had a daybed. Day bed means what? A bed which can be used as a bed and also as a sofa or a divan. Okay. तो उसके पर्स बेड पर पड़ा हुआ है लेकिन वो देख नहीं रही अभी. She was not looking at Roger. She was not looking at the purse. Roger, just to make her feel secure, went and sat on the other side of the bed. কেন গিয়ে বসলো? যাতে মহিলা না ভাবে যে এখনো চুরি করার কথা ভাবছে. He was very, very sincere right now, so that he did not want her to think that he's still a thief, thinking in his thief-like ways. He was sitting on the other side of the bed, but she was now cooking. Okay. And the boy said, "Do you need somebody to go to the store?" asked the boy, "maybe to get some milk or something?" "Don't believe I do," she said. "Unless you want some sweet milk yourself. I was going to make cocoa out of this canned milk I got here." So Roger was saying, बाजार से कुछ लाकर दें आपको? कुछ चाहिए? Do you want something from the market? Why? Because he could now say that he was going to get free dinner. So the boy was trying to serve the lady in return. He was trying to give back something in return of the dinner that he was getting free. A thief who was now treated like a guest, an honorary guest. So Roger said, "Do you want something? I can get something." And the lady says, No, I don't need anything. I'm going to make cocoa. Do you want cocoa? Because I have canned milk. Okay, it is there. But if you want sweet milk, I can give you some money and you can go and bring some sweet milk from the market or the shop. And the boy says, no, it is okay. I can have cocoa. That will be fine, said the boy. She heated some lima beans and ham she had in the icebox, made the cocoa and set the table. So what were they having? They were having lima beans, they were having ham, and they were having cocoa, and they were having a 10-cent cake. And she cut the cake in 2 halves and she served each other. Now, किस बारे में बात कर रहे थे वो लोग बैठकर डाइनिंग टेबल पर? रॉजर को उन्होंने कुछ नहीं पूछा. क्यों? क्योंकि उनको पता था. She knew that Roger is a pathetic thief. He is alone, so possibly he is even an orphan. So she never asked anything. She never asked anything that would make Roger feel uncomfortable. She kept on talking about herself, her work. She told him, সব কিছু বলতে থাকলো. কোথায় কাজ করে সেই সালনে, যেখানে মহিলা কাজ করেন সেখানে কারা কারা আসে, লাল চুলের মহিলারা আসে. Golden hair people come and blondes come and redheads come, and she kept on talking about only her salon and her work so that Roger did not feel uncomfortable. They had their food and then she said, "It's a mo, son." She was calling him son and she was, actually treating him like a young boy who might be her son. When they were finished eating, she got up and said, "Now, here, take this $10 and buy yourself some blue suede shoes. And next time, do not make the mistake of latching onto my pocketbook, nor nobody else's, because shoes come by devilish like that will burn your feet. I got to get my rest now, but I wish you would behave yourself, son, from here on in." So she says, "Listen now. Done eating? Take this." And she gives him a $10 note. She says, "You buy your blue suede shoes with this. Okay? Never try to steal my purse. Not my purse. Not mine. Nor nobody else's." किसी का भी पर्स कभी भी चुराने की कोशिश मत करो. Why? Because when you steal money and you buy shoes with that, those shoes will burn your feet. You will never be able to wear those. From now onwards, behave yourself. Don't be a thief. She led him down the hall to the front door and opened it. "Good night," she said. So there they were. She took, she took Roger to the door, the front door, and she opened it. Now from the front door, there is a small staircase and here is the road. The small staircase is called a stoop. Okay. So she was there standing at the doorway and she let Roger climb down the stairs and she said, "Good night." The boy wanted to say something else other than "Thank you, ma'am," to Mrs. Louella Beats Washington Jones, but he couldn't do so as he turned at the barren stoop and looked back at the large woman in the door. So when Roger started climbing down, it is said that the stoop, the staircase, was barren. Now, why is the staircase called barren? Because up till this moment, this evening, this whole story is about one night after 11. What happens around 11? This lady and this boy gets in contact and she behaves like a mother towards him. She shows kindness that Roger, the thief, has never seen, has never expected. He thought that he was going to jail. Instead, he got love from somebody he was going to hurt, from somebody that he was trying to steal. So, when he was coming out of Mrs. Louella Bates' Washington Jones apartment and climbing the stairs, the stoop, he was feeling lonesome, sad, once again without a family. That is why the staircase, the stoop, is called barren, lonesome. When he came down the stairs and looked at her, he wanted to say a lot of things. He was feeling a lot of things. A lot of lovely feelings were rushing through his veins, and he wanted to say something incredible, something better than thank you, ma'am, but he could not say that. What happens in the end? He barely managed to say thank you before she shut the door, and he never saw her again. What happens was that he turned and he wanted to say thank you, but by that time the lady had closed the door and gone away to take her rest. Why did Mrs. Louella Bates Washington Jones rush so much, slam the door before, he could say something? Because like a mother, for the moment, for that evening, she too was feeling like a mother towards this child. She too was feeling emotionally weak. She's a lonely woman. Mrs. Louella Bates is a lonely woman. In the story, we know that she is Mrs. Louella Bates Washington Jones, but there is no a hint of a husband or children or a family. So she too lives alone, and she loves the company of others. And that is why she picked this lonesome willow wild boy, a thief from the road, and gave him dinner, shared her dinner with him. But this boy also felt something, an emotional connection. There was this emotional connection, and that is exactly why Mrs. Louella Bates Washington Jones, she closes the door instantly. Why? Because she was feeling emotional. She could not face him anymore, lest she feel more emotional and maybe take him in forever, maybe adopt him, which was impractical maybe from her point of view. So the story ends there, and the boy goes away forever. He never meets again Mrs. Louella Bates Washington Jones. हमारी कहानी यहीं पर खत्म होता है. The thing that is shown as I began the story, I told you that this is a very relevant story for our society. This is a very, very beautifully relevant story that we should read and think over. Why? Because usually when one is caught a thief, when one is caught thieving or stealing something, one is either beaten up, he goes through a scandalous life, or he's thrown into prison. Even if it is for 1 or 2 nights, a prison life forever makes a criminal out of a boy or a girl or whoever it is. People are hungry. People on road have no job. They need food. Sometimes they do things they are not supposed to do. But if we throw them in jail, their life is devastated forever. চিরকালের জন্য তারা চোর হয়ে যায়. But here, for once, we see a lady who treats him positively, who treats him in such a way that he feels that in spite of all the bad things in the world, there are good people, there are still people who have tolerance and love for even a thief like him. Who knows? This might transform Roger. Who knows? From now on, Roger will never steal. Or who knows? It's just an evening, a week or two, and then he will be back to his normal business of survival by hook or by crook. Well, our story is done. What do you feel? Do you feel Roger is going to, go stealing again? Or do you think this experience, this evening with Mrs. Louella Bates Washington Jones, will change Roger's life forever? Well, I would like to know what you feel, so do feel free to tell me what you think. Does Roger change or he doesn't? Just write in the comment box and we shall have a talk over it. Okay, that's it for today. Read the story and enjoy reading by yourself. Anything, poems, stories, article, newspaper, whatever, even interesting posts, and watch documentaries. Those help. Okay, goodbye for today. Ta-ta.